Father, we do thank you, Lord, for tonight. Lord, I thank you for every soul here, Father God. I thank you, Father God. I'm reminded of the words of David, King David. He said, is there not a cause? And Lord, I know that there is a cause tonight, Father God. So
Yes.
we thank you, Father God, as we gather in this place. Father God, we thank you that you're the one that sets the order. Father God, we thank you for all the just the equipment, the mechanics, everything, Father God, the visual, the audio. We present it to you right now. Father God, I pray that every heart here would come to receive, Father God. I thank you for everyone that came out tonight. I thank you even for their generosity, Lord, to support such an awesome event. Father God, we know, Father God, that there's just a time, Lord, to get together as a body of Christ and others to come together, Lord, other nonprofits, Lord, for this cause. So, Lord, we know this is a serious thing. So we thank you for it. Lord, we ask that you bless the food.
Thank you,
Father
Lord.
God, we know that, Father God, it's good to our bodies, and Lord, we thank you for those that were able to provide for that. So, Father God, just bless our time here tonight. Father God, and just bless the speakers for tonight and those that are going to present. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, guys, thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Okay, so with that said, welcome everyone to Glory First Ministries presents a night to fight child sex trafficking. For those that don't know me, I'm Pastor Nick Benzion, and by the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, I was blessed to be able to spearhead the creation of this event. However, this event didn't come to fruition solely through my efforts. It was definitely a collaborative effort. And I'd like to thank the following people for their contributions to this event, which helped to make this event a reality. Bishop General Soto, Mary Jo Colligan, and Lauren Van Kopp from Angels of Mercy, and Joe Colligan as well, her husband, and as well as Lauren Van Kopp's husband. I really appreciate them coming out tonight. And they have a table in the back that you can check out, and I encourage you to do so. And Mary Jo will be saying a few words in a little while about the wonderful work that AOM, Angels of Mercy, is doing in the Rochester community and throughout the world. Celia McIntosh from the Rochester Regional Coalition Against Human Trafficking. She also has a table in the back, the red tablecloth. Check that out. I'll have good information there. She will also be speaking. Robert Kerwin, the building manager, he helped me get everything set up in terms of sound. I appreciate his efforts. Minister Randy Barcelona Sr., right there in the camcorder. My parents, Rosemary and Joe Gentile, my brother Joe, they all donated items to the raffle we're going to be having later on, so I thank them for that. And a gentleman, Richard Tyson, who donated Nice Woman's Day. So I really appreciate that as well. And most importantly, the Lord Jesus Christ, who I give all the glory, praise, and honor for allowing this.
Amen.
Because I've been trying to put this together for a couple of years, and everything happens in this hour time. So that's why we're here tonight. So I give you the glory. And I also like to thank everyone that was able to make it tonight. I really do. On a Saturday night, when there are other things you could be doing with your time. Instead, you've chosen to take action to help combat what, in my opinion, is the most nefarious thing on the planet, and that's the sexual exploitation of children. Yeah. Each of us can do our part in helping to put an end to worldwide child sex trafficking, which is one facet or aspect of the scourge and global epidemic of modern-day slavery. And there's more slaves on the planet today than ever before. And this event is a small but important way for us to do that. Now, the organization that we're supporting here tonight is called Operation Underground Railroad. And they derived their name from the original Underground Railroad, which was a network of secret routes and safe houses established in the United States during the early to mid-19th century. They were used by slaves to escape into free states in Canada with the aid of abolitionists and allies who were sympathetic to their cause. The original Underground Railroad was a group that acted and infiltrated. And the reason I chose this date was because of Frederick Douglass, who's a personal hero of mine. He was an ex-slave, great abolitionist, orator, writer, minister, statesman, and suffragist. He didn't know the date he was born, so he chose February 14th as his birthday. And since it fell on Thursday, February 14th weekend, it was Valentine's Day, I thought it'd be best to have an event on the Saturday following that day to make it more convenient for people. So real quick, I'd like to show a quick video that goes into greater detail behind why the name was chosen, why Operation Underground Railroad was chosen for the name of the organization.
The front line of the Civil War, Harry Jacobs, who is a personal hero of mine, she was one of the founders they fed them, they housed them. There were orphans, and Harry Jacobs and others helped them find homes in the north. There is no rescue, there is no liberation if there's not a plan for longevity, a plan for restoration.
Harry Tubman is always my hero because I love the fact that there are people who saw so much beyond themselves, who saw and understood what freedom was all about, but they would go back and back again, taking the risk of being caught because they love so much that they feel wanting other people to experience it. My great-great-grandfather, Silas Burgess, escaped to Texas, became an entrepreneur, owned 100 acres of farmland he bought a big out in 2 years, built the first black church, the first black school of the 7th grade, was a close community, was loved by those around him, was a great father, and was known for being fiercely independent.
I wanted to tap into that power. I wanted to tap into the courage, the heroism, and the legacy of the original Underground Railroad and channel that light and that power, that influence into a new rescue mission.
We talk about how we didn't like the slavery of the 1800s. Let's do something about it in the 2000s and make sure that those who are back on us think about how we respond.
I can say honestly that were it not for the original Underground Railroad, there are children that we wouldn't have saved. That's how powerful that name is to us. That's how powerful that inspiration, that light, that legacy is to me personally and to our foundation. It was obvious to me that I had to use this name. And so we call ourselves Operation
Okay,
Underground.
so their efforts over the last 4 years has resulted in OUR rescuing 1,765 victims of child sex trafficking and assisted in the arrest of more than 888 traffickers around the world. So, as advertised, we will be viewing the critically acclaimed documentary created by Tim Ballard in Operation Underground Railroad called Operation Toussaint. We will then be raffling off a number of wonderful items, a collection of love offerings to support OUR's awesome work. And all the money that is collected and given tonight is going directly to OUR. But before we do that, we're going to have a couple of wonderful speakers come up and talk about their organizations and the wonderful work they are doing to put an end to human trafficking. First, I want to introduce Mary Jo Colligan. She's the president and founder of Angels of Mercy, a wonderful Christ-centered organization that is changing the lives of women and children here in the greater Rochester community,
Amen.
Monroe County as a whole, and throughout the entire world by the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ. She is also a dear friend of mine. I've been blessed by the Lord to be involved with Angels of Mercy since 2013. When I first called, she thought I was a pastor. So it's kind of, it's a fulfillment of, I am a pastor by the grace of God. But I have seen the wonderful work firsthand that the Lord has done in the lives of women that have come through the doors of the outreach headquarters at 692 Northwood Road, just down Northwood Road. They come in broken and they left restored because of Jesus Christ and the compassion and love demonstrated by the wonderful women that volunteered that they went, and especially Mary Jo and Joseph, Daniel Rosen, who's the vice president, and she's also here tonight. So thank you for coming, Joseph. You're a wonderful person. Wonderful person. Without further ado, here's Mary Jo.
Well, thank you so very much for having us here this evening. And I want to say that Nick, I'll never forget the first day you came to our office. It was a hot summer day, and he came in with his backpack on, and ever since he's been near and dear to our heart.
Praise God.
And to see how you have grown, and he has had love for the Lord like I've never seen, well, I have others, but never seen before my eyes, and the transformation and how he has come along, and he and many of other people in this room were ordained a few weeks ago, and Joe and I were blessed to be here. And I want to just say we love you from the bottom of our heart. There's nothing we wouldn't do for you. And the fact that your congregation is putting on this event tonight is absolutely something so important, because human trafficking is truly spinning out of control.
Yeah. Amen.
So that.
Yes.
And at Angels of Mercy, we embarked upon education and awareness after we had started our Dress of World program. And if you turn around and look at the dress on the table back there, once we began our ministry, a friend of mine told me to please come to her home because they were making dresses to help prevent sex trafficking in young girls in third world countries. Well, we know it's not just happening in third world countries, it's happening right here in the U.S., right where we are. And our goal was to help prevent it for 100 girls, and the ministries together learned, she's our human trafficking director. Lauren should really come up here too. Why don't you come on up, Lauren? And we have, with about 40 different organizations of women's sewing, sent out over 500,000 dresses since we began with missionaries and missions to help do that. So I really want you to know, if you know any missions that are going out, please let us know. And thank you, Lord, for all the work that you do to help us really get the word out. So when we were planning our first 5K, remember that day? We said, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep this off the ground? So at Lawrence Church, Penfield Wesleyan Church, we had our first anti-human trafficking awareness event, and the place was just packed, and people from all walks of life came. And that, I think, was probably one of the biggest events that there was to really spread the word about what human trafficking is. And it is the illegal trade of human beings for the or forced labor, modern day form of slavery, as we've heard about, and it has grown into $150 billion a year industry. And a third of that takes place right here in the U.S., with New York State being one of the top destinations. You can share some of this if you want. Go ahead. 34 children are forced into this horrific world of child sex trafficking every single hour, right here in the United States. They are enslaved through force, fraud, and coercion. The United States has become one of the top destinations in the world, and as I said, New York State is one of the top destinations within the states. So you might ask, who is at risk? Well, mostly we hear about children between the ages of 12 and 14. That's the mean age, but I'll tell you, it happens much younger. And you might ask why. Well, many times the children are sexually abused when they're younger. They feel they have no self-worth. They may be runaways. They may be in the foster care system. There's 2,000 homeless youth within the Rochester City School System right now. Well, it's 2,500, so it just went up, so that's even more. It's terrible to think of. And 1 in 5 American girls will be abused by the time they turn 18. It's terrible. And I bet it, those are the reported numbers, so you can imagine what it's like, you know, with the people that are trying to keep it pushed under the rug. I know when I was younger, you didn't talk about these things. You never talked about sex. I never thought I was going to go into a church or into a group and talk about sex in my life, because to me it was something sacred. But it's happening. We see it in television shows and things, and you're hearing more about it in documentaries, and just being at events like this evening. 50% of shelter youth have been trafficked, and 70% of trafficked victims have experienced physical or sexual abuse in their homes, many times at the hands of their own family. Oh, I got that later. I should have stapled it. Our daughters, sisters, and granddaughters are all vulnerable. Kids are especially susceptible to deception and manipulation of traffickers. And may I add that traffickers are not just men. About 49% of them are women. And you may ask why. Well, a woman it's easier for a woman to approach a girl that looks maybe like she's down, or she's alone, or she has a problem. And then, you know, they start talking, and the girl might say, well, I had a bad day, I don't really want to go home, I had a fight with my parents. And the woman may invite her, you know, well, why don't you come to my house for dinner? Or something like that. And then maybe she doesn't want to go home, so she's asked if she wants to stay the night. And then she feels like she's being loved, somebody's listening to her. somebody's giving her whatever she needs as far as food, shelter, clothing. They may be buying her things, you know, and so she stays there. And after a while, what happens is that switch flips, and they start asking for something in return. And this goes with both men and women traffickers. And don't forget, men and boys are trafficked also. So, you know, it's really a horrifying world that we live in. You have to be very vigilant about our youth and about where we are and about when you leave, even a shopping center, if there is a panel van next to your car, don't go alone, because that's the way that they take people and capture them. It doesn't matter, you know, really who you are. And I want to say something. People don't believe that this happens in our own backyard. And it does. It's happening all over the place. We have a lot of it going on in Rochester. And it's not because these girls want to be on the street prostituting themselves. Many times, traffickers will get them hooked on drugs. So the only way they can get their fix is to sell their body again.
Yeah.
And you can sell a drug once, but a human being can be sold 20 to 30 times a day.
Good God.
And that's the sickening part of it. So what comes along with that? A host of illnesses, malnutrition, them being beaten, and everything. And once they're in the life, there's about a 7-year life expectancy after they're taken into this type of slavery. Traffickers are very smart. They know the laws, and usually they're very likable. However, they know how to control their victims through intimidation, manipulation, physical violence, even torture. They establish daily quotas, or they withhold food. They often threaten the victim's family. So if they try to leave, they say, I know where your sister goes to school. I know where your family lives. I'll go and take them in. And it's just amazing. I could talk for an hour, but I know we have to watch, and I know Sally has things to say. So what can you do to make a difference? By being here this evening and being educated. Educate your loved ones and friends. Learn about human trafficking from websites. Attend a local anti-human trafficking awareness event. Check out our website for an event near you. Share the warning signs with all of the teens that you know, and we have information on our table back there. Anything you can do to mentor an at-risk child and youth will reduce their risk of being trafficked. Participate in efforts to create more beds and shelters and to restore minor sex trafficking survivors.
Amen.
You know, there really are not enough beds. And our vision from day one, Angels of Mercy, we're in our 12th year now. When we began, it was because actually I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I knew I wanted to do something to help women way back in my 20s. Been married now to this wonderful man for 37 years, who truly is the one we need. Couldn't do what we do without our beautiful volunteers and our board members and, you know, people that support us. But, you know, and then one of our daughters has been through really horrific things in her life, and that's what propelled us to start Angels of Mercy. So you might ask, what do we do at Angels of Mercy? Well, Angels of Mercy is a place for women who have been through all kinds of abuse: domestic violence, drug, alcohol, sex trafficking, low self-esteem, attempted suicide, self-harm, all that. They can come in, they can receive services through our Butterfly Boutique. We have an array of services that we can refer women out to. As I said, our vision was a home. It has been for over 11 years now, and you know, I know that other people are thinking about doing the same thing, but I think we need to really buckle up and join together, because we need more beds. Bring these women in. So they can live an unconditional love of Christ. That's where it begins. Right at the root of the problem. It's not about band-aiding anymore. There's a lot of band-aiding that's been going on for years, and people are suffering. So you know what? Our goal is to really do all we can. We have a beautiful program, Beauty for Ashes, and if you know the Bible, you know about Beauty for Ashes. But stop and pick it up. We invite you to stop at our table, and we thank you for having us here this evening to come along, Nick, and this wonderful group of people. And God bless you all, and may we all can make a difference. So let's go for it.
That was great. Praise the Lord. That was great. So now I have Celia McIntyre from the Rochester Regional Coalition Against Human Trafficking come up and say a few words.
Praise God.
Mary Jo, do you have to show me up everywhere we go? You're a hard act to follow. So hi everyone, thanks for coming out tonight. I'm going to try not to repeat a lot of the same things Mary Jo did. We know that worldwide children, women, and men are exploited by way of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of commercial sex, debt bondage, and involuntary labor. A common misconception is that trafficking is a foreign epidemic. It happens in Asia, it happens in India. But thanks to the momentum of education and awareness, we're coming to recognize that it exists here in the United States. And yes, here in our own Rochester community.
Wow, it's crazy.
In fact, in 2014, Rochester Center for Youth received 127 referrals from police, medical officials, local agencies about youth who could have been sexually exploited. 3 years later, that number more than doubled to nearly 300, and of those, 62 youth acknowledged that they had been sold for sex. Wow. And in December of 2017, Stephen Jones, called by one prosecutor as the worst sex trafficker the Rochester Regional had witnessed, was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison.
Right.
Human trafficking is the fastest growing and second largest criminal industry in the world. It's estimated that it generates $150 billion annually, and is said to be more than Starbucks, Google, and Nike combined.
Man.
All trafficking victims share one essential experience: the loss of freedom. Despite this knowledge, the demand continues to grow, and human trafficking continues to go under-recognized and underreported. Since 2007, the National Human Trafficking Resource Center hotline received over 45,000 calls, okay? And of those, almost 6,500 of those came from the great state of New York, which is ranked, has the 5th highest call volume to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. We know that this is likely a gross underestimation given that there's a hidden nature of this crime. The Rochester Regional Coalition Against Human Trafficking calls out trafficking in persons as a global public health problem, and it's a violation to basic human rights and a crime against humanity. In response to the increased incidence of human trafficking reports within the greater Rochester community, RCAT was formed in 2013. And Lauren Van Cott and Mary Jo Cooligan, they are two of many founding members of RCAT. The purpose of this was to be a coordinated response to the needs of trafficked victims. What started out with a couple of not-for-profit individuals now includes many across the community spectrum: Angels of Mercy, Bright Star Community, Center for Youth, Church Women United, Feminists for Nonviolent Choices, the National Council of Jewish Women, Planned Parenthood, Restore, Sisters of St. Joseph, the Stop Abuse Campaign, Workers' Justice Center of New York, Worldwide Documentaries, the Vignelli Center for Design Studies at RIT. In addition to these groups, many individuals give their uncompensated time to RCAT simply because they refuse to do nothing. So can Janelle, Lauren, Mary Jo, Jackie stand up? You're all members of RCAT. Thank you. RCAT is dedicated to eliminating trafficking in our communities through education, advocacy, and networking with individuals and organizations, and to put our words and words of our mission into action. We developed our Yes Here campaign. If you can take a look at the posters in the back. RIT developed those for us. And we've, over the years, raised enough money to put those, some of those signs down at the RTS bus station, about 26 monitors this year. In July, we put some of those pictures on a couple bus shelters. The first year, we did a bus raffle on a couple buses, because we really want to get the education and the awareness out about human trafficking. RCAT is also a leader in education and awareness, aiming to educate the community and make visible the problem of human trafficking in upstate New York. And another mainstay of RCAT is our Care Pack initiative. And basically what we do as a part of liberating victims, people donate things like toiletries, soaps, blankets, and we pack those and donate them to organizations like Center for Youth or Angels of Mercy or Workers' Justice, who are working with victims to give them to the victims. So I want to put it in context for you guys. How many people here know someone that's had a stroke? Raise your hand. What about a heart attack? Okay. So one person is trafficked every 30 seconds. Wow. One person has a stroke every 40 seconds. Another person has a heart attack every 43 seconds. And a person dies of heart disease every 90 seconds.
Man.
So when you think about it, people are being trafficked at a higher rate than people are having strokes and heart attacks. It's easier for medical professionals or for anyone to recognize a person that has a heart attack. You have the pain, you're clutching your chest, you're coming into the hospital immediately, right? And everybody knows what's going on. Someone having a stroke, maybe they're aphasic, can't talk, can't move a limb, arm, leg. But when you have a victim of trafficking, it's not easy to identify. Oftentimes, like Mary Jo says, a lot of physical, a lot of psychological abuse. So they're not necessarily going to trust you to open up to you and tell you. And as a healthcare provider myself, 90% of victims come in contact with healthcare providers while they're being trafficked, but they're often missed because we don't know the red flags and we weren't educated on how to identify this population. So, like I said, so thank you for coming out, learning more about human trafficking because it does exist here.
The Rochester Regional Coalition Against Human Trafficking's website is one of the best resources for those of you who walk away inspired to learn more about what human trafficking looks like, tools, other resources. So it's rcaht.org, rcat.org, and it's really one of the best websites out there. We have a great webmaster who publishes current news articles about trafficking that's going on locally and that kind of thing. So I encourage you to use that as a website.
Angels of Mercy's website, in case it wasn't mentioned, is angelsofmercyny.org. Check that out. It's a great resource of information to find out what they're doing in the Rochester community. So now to the moment of truth. We're going to watch the documentary, Operation Precinct.
It's something I don't want to talk about because I know I will find it. I will find it. One day something will happen, I'll find it.
Praise the Lord, everybody. We're celebrating here at House Place, Camry Florida, but we're also, just everybody's here, so, but I'm going to talk about the documentary that we had on the sex slavery that's going on in our society. It's a horrible place. It's a horrible thing. It's very dark, and I thought it was very informative. It really showed what's really going on, and a lot of people don't understand, but there's some very powerful people that are behind this sex slavery in high places, and it's billions and billions of dollars of money that they're making off the agony and the bondage of these children, little children. It's horrible. I really don't have a lot of words except this is horrible, and we as Christians, we need to get behind this, people that are doing this and trying to, bring an end to it and trying to bring an awareness to it. I believe we should do all we can do to help do it. I don't care if he's going to try to do their part, definitely on the streets of Rochester.
And you would encourage anyone to support Operation Underground Railroad?
Oh yeah, I encourage anybody. It's a legit ministry. It's a powerful ministry. I mean, there's people, man, that are in the CIA, they're ex-military, operate. I mean, just a lot of important people that are getting involved in this and trying to rescue these young people from the bondage of this horrible sin. That's all it is, a sin.
So this is Minister Anna, and she saw the documentary. She saw the documentary Operation Toussaint, and what did you think about it, sister?
Well, the documentary, I'm so proud of the people that God put in store to take, work for, get the children them together, because I'm out on the street every day and I see what's going on with kids, and this is a great privilege for God to have people to really have that sorrowful heart, to even go out there and search for those kids. I'm so proud of them. I'm so blessed. I work there. I see the documentary. I see what the kids they're going through. So right now, I'm just asking all the viewers and that are out there that see the video or even want to see it. It's so much interesting. People that have kids, this is time for you to button up yourself and be more serious and take care, hold on your kids, because there's so many crazy people out there now. I'm telling you, they can sell you kids even 5 times. You understand me? And they are so brutal. They have no heart. And God just put it in these people's heart to just go out there, and sacrifice themselves to find the kids. This is a great blessing. So I'm just telling everyone that watch this video. Keep up the good work. Don't stop. Just keep on pressing on, because God is so pleased right now.
And you would tell people to support Operation Underground Railroad, right?
That's right.
Yes.
And if I'm going to Florida, I'm going to spread the news about this program that we are doing, because it's for everyone that have kids. Not only me alone, everyone that have kids are included in it, because nobody knows what's going to happen to their kids tomorrow. So please volunteer. Just give what you have to sustain this program, because you will not regret it. Helping so many kids all over the world. I've been to Nigeria and I see how the kids them live there. They live like a brutal. They sold them. They killed them. They sold their bodies. I watch everything that's going on here. So right now, I'm just asking you, please pray for this ministry. Help them if you can. Look how small it is. It will be grateful for them in Jesus' name.
On February 16th, Saturday, February 16th, we viewed a video, Operation Toussaint, and it was put together by Nick Gentile, and it's kid trafficking and
exploitation of children.
Yes.
And the plight of the trafficking that's out there, with the commodity being very high when it comes to children, because what caught me was the resale of a child, that you could resell a child over and over, as opposed to a drug where you could sell it once or twice and cut it down and then it's consumed. But a child that could be just reused, and they were going into some of the the most darkest areas, and these areas were, I mean, what we saw there with no lighting, no food, it was not something that I would want for anyone that I know. And yet, we felt like we knew the people in the video because we were so riveted by what we saw on the screen. We knew that there has to be a cause that's out there that's greater, that really looks at these things. We were just taken back by what we saw in the video, and we would recommend that anyone that would look at that video and get an understanding of what truly is going on. It would open your eyes to where you could be a blessing or where you could be a support to these organizations that are out there, these police organizations and some of these groups that are out there trying to find them and rescue them and to get them into good housing and to get them into normal homes, because of what we see going on right now is really appalling.
And you guys would encourage anyone to support Operation Underground Railroad based on what you saw?
We definitely would.
Yeah.
No child should have to endure or go through any of these things that these children are going through. And that, please, please support this, because there's so many children out there being trafficked through the United States into different countries. And it really needs to be taken care of, because it's sad. It's really sad what these children have to go through and what they have to endure.
What can you do? You can get informed. I believe that also presentations like this video and also these interviews that are being conducted for follow-up should stir us up to get more informed on exactly what we could do. And also perhaps maybe even being a host yourself to having the video shown at a place where you are, so that others can get a real clarity and understanding of what exactly is going on, because this is a great cause.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. So I'm here with Mary Jo Colligan and Josie Gangarosa from Angels of Mercy, which is an awesome Christ-centered organization here in the Rochester, New York area, and they do a lot to fight against human trafficking here and abroad, sex trafficking here and abroad, and they were at a night to fight child sex trafficking, and they saw the film Operation Toussaint. So first, Mary Jo, what did you think about Operation Toussaint?
I think it was a great film. It showed so much of what's truly happening around the world. And I just can't tell you how much it impacted my heart and those of others that were with us that evening. I think it really gave a face to the name child sex trafficking, or that phrase, I should say. And I'm so thankful that Nick invited us to come and to raise awareness and truly show us what it looks like underground, because we don't always see people helping others to escape from it. And seeing these children so desperate, and the way that this whole organization was founded, it was just it's from such pain. And the way the father of the young man that had been captured, the way that he truly felt, and he took children in at the end and gave them a home. I mean, it's terrible that there was such tragedy that brought this all about. Sometimes that's the way God works. You know, we can't question, we do question, you know, when you're going through something. But when we look at the greater picture, I think, you know, when we walk in faith, we have to trust in God. We have to trust in Him. And the gentleman, I believe his name is Tom Ballard.
Tim Ballard,
Tim Ballard,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
He is amazing. And
Yes.
Just so beautiful, his heart, his spirit, his whole family's spirit, and the love that he has for these children, and how he adopted two as his very own. I'm sure he would have taken them all if he had the room, and he was able to do so. But that man, God bless him, and his team is phenomenal, and what they've done to help save our children.
And about you, Josie, what did you think about the film?
I just think that this movie brought so much to our inner self, to realize that there are men and women out there that would abuse children to that degree is very sad. I think we need to pray very, very hard that this whole group of men and women just get caught and it's all dissolved. But another thing that's really, really burdens my heart is the fact that these children and how they're abused, it's never going to go away on them. I mean, you know, these men and women, they can't even be human for what they do to these children. And they will grow up, and unless they get them out of there fast and, you know, offer them all that they can offer them, it is just so sad. They're lacking their education. They're lacking growing up as children. They're going to end up just having nightmares over it. Not even to say, if you put it in your mind, the abuse that they're getting is just terrible. And I do think this movie should be shown around in many, many more places all over the country. And so we just need to pray to God that He offers, health to the children, that they can run away and get out. But anybody you can show the movie to, Nick, do so.
And you guys would both encourage people to support OUR, Operation Underground Railroad, in any way possible.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we support you,
Absolutely.
our new pastor, Nick Gentile. So we're just so thankful for you, for your heart, for your vision, and for everything that He's wanted to do. Right,
How
Josie?
many years
Over
have
the
we
years.
known you, Nick?
Since 2013.
2013. And
6
I
years.
will say, in all those years, what Nick has offered us and the community, helping out men and women who don't have a lot, you'll find Nick. In the
That's right.
cold, freezing weather, but Nick will be there.
Praise
Yes.
Jesus. Praise
He's
Jesus.
there, and He's an amazing man, and God's using him mightily.
Amen.
And we thank you, Lord, for Nick.
Amen. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
it.
very welcome.
You guys were at A Night to Fight Child Sex Trafficking last month on Saturday, February 16th. What did you guys think of the film Operation Toussaint, which was shown to raise awareness about child sex trafficking around the world and to raise financial support for Operation Underground Railroad? What were your impressions of the film?
The film was riveting. I don't think I realized quite how common and widespread the problem was. I do know that it's a serious problem. Child soldiers, child sex slaves, people in bondage anywhere. I found it especially horrific that women were involved in the trade. For some reason, my own bias, I always think it's just men. I was horrified that women could be complicit in such a thing.
And you? What did you think
I
about
thought
it?
the film was great. I learned a lot from the film. I was surprised at a lot of the things that they filmed, things that I don't remember the man's name who runs it.
Tim Ballard, yeah.
Yeah,
He's truly a hero.
I thought he was pretty great. He quit his job and everything just to start this organization. That's pretty good. He's really dedicated, and I could see why. Plus, he has how many children? 5 or 6 kids.
A lot of children, yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why he got involved in this.
I don't know how anybody could watch it and not have it be heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to see the evil somebody
The way
else
they steal the kids.
could put on someone else, could put a child in that position or anyone in that position.
Yeah, I thought when I saw the woman involved, it always baffles me when I see women involved in stuff like that. You don't expect the women to be involved in it. Usually men. And but I thought all in all it was a great film. I think more people should get involved in it.
I think more people should see it.
Yeah,
Right.
see the film.
And you would encourage people to support the work of Operation Underground Railroad
Oh, of
based
course.
on what
Yeah,
you saw?
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm aware of the sex slavery in the United States, but I don't think I realized how widespread it was in other countries.
It's all over the world, I guess.
And one scary component of it was the fact that they rescued these children from what was an orphanage. It looked like an orphanage. It was a front for an orphanage. Or the orphanage was a front for the sex trafficking ring.
It's evil in and of
So-
itself, but the fact that something's masquerading as something
It's supposed to be good and wholesome and pure and all that. Yeah. Okay. Is that all you guys want to say?
Yeah, I'm very glad that we attended, though. I'm very glad that we did see the film and that we're aware of the problem now.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you very much.